Mojoholics, I'm your host Rebecca, and in this fourth episode of WatchMojo.FAQ, our CEO and co-founder Ashkan Karbasfrooshan joins me to discuss our demo, why we don't do that many sports-related videos, and the length of our videos. Welcome to WatchMojo.FAQ, episode 4. With me after a one-week hiatus is our CEO and founder, Ashkan Karbasfrooshan. Ash, you were off last week, and Kenneth joined me in the hot seat. Were you closing some big deals while you were away?
If by big deals you mean eating lobster rolls, drinking margarita, yes, many, many big deals. No, it was good to be off. I did manage to catch a show with Kenneth. Pretty good, very exciting to see a lot of Mojoholics want to help us with the crowd caption initiative. Kenneth will be following up with you guys if he hasn't already.
Okay, let's get right to it. Straight Edge 2399 asked, I got a question for the next What's Your Mojo. How old do you think the people are who watch and are subscribed to WatchMojo?
Great question. The answer is, are you doing the ice bucket challenge? Okay, sorry. Okay, so you can answer that.
I haven't technically been challenged, but now I'm going to be, so great.
There we go. So basically, our audience is predominantly male. Our open audience, meaning anybody that comes and goes through the channel, is about 85% men, and our subscribers are 90% men. If I have some stats for you in terms of the concentration, 36% are between 18 and 24, and then 26% are between 25 and 34. So right there, you're looking at 62% that are men aged 18 to 34, which is pretty big.
Right. Do you think that there's like a contingent of the audience that is lying about their age to access like age-restricted videos?
Yeah, you know, it's a fair observation. I think the same way that like teenagers lie to get into bars or to get into certain movies, that applies probably on YouTube as well. Now, we don't have a lot of age-restricted videos on YouTube.
Girl-on-girl kisses?
Yes, we have some, but I mean, the reality is YouTube, there's a lot of those videos, so I would not be surprised.
Right. So that's the age breakdown. What about geographically?
Okay, so in our case, we get 43% of our viewers who are from the USA, 8% from the United Kingdom, 4% from Canada where we're based, and then less than 3% from each Australia and Germany. And to round out the top 10, you got Mexico, India, Philippines, Sweden, and the Netherlands.
Okay, my travel itinerary is set. A few weeks ago, you talked about the possibility of either a women's channel or more female-centric content on the main channel of WatchMojo. Was there any feedback about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say those who spoke up were saying it ain't broken, don't fix it, we don't need that. The flip side is we've gotten emails from female viewers who want a bit more, you know, female-flavored content. I would say for the time being, it's on the back burner. We'll probably revisit that through a survey in the future.
Speak up, ladies. Ben Sedinary asked, the fact is you guys are popular not just in North America, so you can make a sports video of lesser-known sports leagues that should be more popular, like in Australia, the sport AFL, Australian Football League, is very popular, but not around the world. So what are the odds we do Aussie rules football clips or more sports videos in general?
Okay, so that's a very good question. To be honest with you, if you look at the 4 categories, movies/TV, video games, music, and sports, I'm personally more passionate about sports and music. Love movies as well. But you Mojoholics make it very clear that you prefer movies and video games. That's 1 and 2. So when it comes to sports, the challenge is actually twofold. I'll address one of them on today's show just for time. The reality is you could do a top 10 movie list or top 10 video game list that applies to more or less a large enough majority of our audience. But with sports, it's actually very geographic. Our American viewers are going to want American football, baseball, and basketball predominantly. Our Canadian viewers are going to want a lot of hockey. And in Europe, they're going to want a lot of, you know, football, soccer. So I think we've set, you know, every time we've done a sports video, it's kind of, we're setting ourselves up to disappoint ourselves and you guys, which we hate doing. Now, we did sometimes do the whole top 10 global, somebody fall off a chair somewhere. Now, we've done top 10 global sporting events to attend before you die, and we've done top 10 North American sporting events to attend before you die. But again, it just feels like we're kind of forcing it, and in the end, you know, everybody comes to us and says, do more something that's very niche. And, you know, I'm not saying we're never going to do sports. I'm just saying it's got to feel right.
Right. What was the second reason?
The second reason, I'll just touch on it, but we'll address it on another show, is the reality is just the issues of copyright and rights and the editorial sort of leeway that we have when we deal with record labels and record labels and film studios that we have great relationships with.
They're in a very... When we criticize their guys?
Even when they're criticized, yeah. I mean, the reality is you criticize someone or something, Gravity Falls, and, you know, the hardcore fans come out and say why it's a great show, and people are like, why? I mean, people then come and say, I gotta buy this record or watch this movie, etc.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess no PR is bad PR. So Miley Cyrus, we're looking at you.
Okay, so my turn. TDH24 Live asks, why were your old videos so short, and do you plan on doing more reduxes?
Okay, I will fill this one because I started as an intern at WatchMojo in 2007 and joined full-time in 2008. So I've been around to see all the lengthening of the videos. At the time when I started, videos were about 2 to 5 minutes, I think. Mostly interviews, but then we got into more bios, which ran kind of the longer videos, like 5 minutes. And then we started off doing some lists. Did some top 5s, couple top 7s, I think. We had like 7 things you should know about or whatever. And then obviously, eventually when things got to top 10s, things were gonna be longer because there were just more entries, but we also wanted to lengthen them, make them a bit more meaty, have some more information in there for you guys. Now, when you started the company, did you have a rationale or a thinking about the length of the videos?
No idea. We had no plan. No, I'm kidding. So when we started the company in 2006 and started to brainstorm in 2005, if we would have, like Steve Jobs says, don't do market research, and here's kind of why. If we would have said, people, what do you want to watch in video? They would have said, we want UGC that is in HD, right? What we were producing made for web short videos was kind of like unheard of. There was no rationale to produce it because you had TV content and you had UGC, and people didn't understand that you might need something in between. But yeah, I always felt we had to be one step ahead of what people were watching. So if people were watching 30 to 60 seconds, we were at 1 minute. And now if people are watching 3 to 5 minutes, I think we're like at 10 minutes. There's a method to the madness, which is YouTube does reward, their famous algorithm, does reward how much people watch your videos, but also how long throughout the video they watch it. So if we saw that people were watching 80, 90 minutes of our videos, 80, 90% of our videos, we then thought, hey, why not introduce the honorable mentions, which is like an honest way of completing a list, but also making them a bit longer, giving the audience really what they want.
Right. So you raised 2 points that we've already addressed in other episodes of What's Your Mojo, but I will address them again just to give you guys a bit of an idea. So the honorable mentions are basically entries 11 through 25 that didn't make the list, but we wanted to let you know that we know these movies exist, or that they almost made the cut, or it was a really popular suggestion on the suggest page, but for some reason, criteria or whatever, it didn't make the cut. The second is the HD thing. As you may notice, this video is in HD. Ta-da! That is because we are shooting it in HD. The rest of our videos, or there are some HD videos on WatchMojo, believe it or not, but most of them are not in HD because the source material that we are using to create the lists was not available in HD. So it's hard to make the finished video HD.
Number one question we get asked, probably bar none. Okay, and the last question for today is, what you brought up the suggestion tool. When you're researching in the suggestion tool, do you ever edit a suggestion?
Like the title?
Yeah, so here's the context. Fernan Zod asks, suggestion for the suggestion tool. Allow users to edit their suggestions after posting. I notice I've made a few typos on my suggestions and can fix them now that they've been posted.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I guess every so often I'll fix a typo in the title, or clarify the title so it makes more sense, especially if we want to feature it on What's Your Mojo to get more votes so people know exactly what they're voting for. Now, is that something that you plan on opening up for the audience?
There's a lot of merit in doing that. It's something we can do as administrators, but there is one kind of obvious, or maybe...
I think I just figured it out. Yeah, so if the suggester could change the title, that could completely confuse us and screw everything up?
It could, and I think that's also one reason why YouTube doesn't allow users to edit or replace a video once it's been uploaded. Imagine you upload something very inspiring, motivational, that gets 1 million views, and then you replace it with a video of yourself dropping your pants. Yeah, it's not, anyway.
Right. On that note, that's the show for today. Feel free to ask us questions in the comments section, catch us on Twitter or Facebook, or email us at watch@WatchMojo.com. But ideally, check it out in the suggest page below. Thanks for watching WatchMojo FAQ. Tune in again next time and tell us what you think.